Okay, it's finally time for me to make a video about my strategy here and how I trade. Pardon, I have been working all day and my voice is very high because my throat is tired. Um, I'll try and get through this fairly quickly. Uh, so, basically, in a nutshell, my strategy is to buy when the Ichimoku Tenkan line changes direction. That's about it. I have a specific. I made this a couple days ago. I have a specific strategy I follow. Basically, you can see my entire process right here. This is my process, and that's about. I'll. You can pause it if you want, but that's my entire process right there. Um, so basically, what I would do is I don't know, pull up US dollar, Japanese yen here, Forex. So, zooming out, according to my strategy, first thing I would do is, let's say this is a blank chart, right? I would hide everything. There's nothing there, right? Then I would begin to draw in technical support and resistance. Now, I do this in a sort of mathematical way. Um, you know what? I'm going to quickly switch over to something else so I don't mess up my chart fast. Let's say US dollar to Canadian hotspot. Okay, so this one I haven't touched yet. So, what I would first do is I would establish again support and resistance. So I would see right here, this is a bottom. This is obviously a big support line. This is as low as the price got. This is an outlier, so I don't count that. My major trading range lines are always going to be magenta. You know, keep the more weight a support resistance line has, I give it different colors based on how much weight it has. So this is this is what I would call a trading range now. Okay. Um, as you can see, this is the next major support and resistance line right here. And what I would do after this is I would take the rectangle tool in this case and I would do that. And then what I would do is I would move that rectangle up. And what do you know? Exactly 100% of the time, this is the top or bottom of another trading range right here. And then you can do that again. This is the next trading range, right? That's a pretty big resistance line right there. Price has a hard time getting above this or below it. Now, you might want to fumble around a bit. It's some cases it's not exactly right there, but it's usually pretty close. So, to finish, I would make a bunch of squares here until I get to the very top. Yep. One more. Oh, that's a little off. Sorry if this bores you, but this is just wanted to go into detail here. There's another one, and you can see how nicely it usually works out pretty nicely. There's the next one. Oh, look at that. It just happens to be a major support and resistance line. Each one of these, um, the space in between these are what is no. I don't want to make. I don't want to make it sound like you don't know anything because you obviously know a lot. But I'm just gonna say things from the standpoint of a teacher to somebody who doesn't know anything. I call these trading ranges. Anyone can look them up. They're a thing. Basically, they're places where the price has a hard time. They're 2 points which a price bounces around in. Right, so these are major trading ranges, or main trading ranges, as I call them in my strategy. I'm gonna finish putting those in here, right? So now we have all the big support and resistance lines. You can see this one's well, that worked too pretty well. So you can see we've got them all placed in. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these. We have our major support and resistance lines or our trading ranges in place. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in a bit closer. You can do this at any point in the chart, but I'm going to do it here because it's a little easier. And I'm going to cut the trading ranges in half basically. So I'm going to take about the halfway point and put in another support and resistance line right here. I would say that is it. And I'm going to make it white. So in this case, if you don't want to guess, you can actually mathematically calculate where it is exactly. So I can do, for example, let's say where it is down here. Okay, I can do 0.97514 minus the bottom one, which is what? It's 0.94444 divided by 2, and add that onto 0.94444. And that is the location of the trading range. So I'm actually gonna move. I do want to do this one mathematically because Forex is a little more tricky. So it's 0.95979. 0.95957. Come on, 959574. Okay, close enough. You know, that's close enough. You're not going to get it exact with Forex. Okay, so next I'm going to do this again, basically across the whole chart. Move that up. What do you see? This square is a good, I mean, look where the line is. That is a major support and resistance line. Again, it's kind of cool how that works. It's really neat. The guy I've learned most of my stuff from taught me that, and I can show you a link to him. He's kind of expensive, but I mean, if you ever get interested in futures, he's your man to go to. Come on, work here. There we go. I'm gonna zoom out. Yeah, and this is obviously tedious. Okay, you can figure out what I'm doing right now, but I just want to go over the entire thing from step 1. You know, so you get the entire idea. And right there, yep. Okay, now I'm gonna just go through and punch in my secondary. Oops, let's make it white. Secondary. Okay, I call these half ranges because they cut the main ranges in half. And you can see, like the first time, they are almost dead on precise in defining major support and resistance areas. It's really cool how you can just go through and without even looking at the price, it gives you exactly where major support and resistance is at. Which is extremely vital when you are a technical trader like I am, who gives no craps about fundamental analysis. Unless it's macro news coming out, then I just don't trade. Macronomics or macro news and fundamentals, macro news always trumps technical analysis, but it doesn't happen enough and it's not predictable enough to trade off of purely. So I stick with technical analysis to do pretty much everything. Now, this is where you're going to go, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're going to do it again? Yes, I am. Okay, especially with Forex, I'm going to divide them up into quarters now. So, I can do it without math this time. This is the quarter. I'm going to make these smaller and blue. I'm going to do it again. Got you square. That goes there, starting from the bottom. And it doesn't go any further after quarters, so don't worry. I mean, that would be ridiculous. Sometimes, every once in a while, with Forex, you go into eighths, but your chart really starts to look weird. If you go into eighths, it looks like a rainbow if you do that. And once again, this is Thinkorswim. You get it for free with the TD Ameritrade account. So if you want this, you can just make a TD Ameritrade. Oh, I've talked to you about this. You can make a TD Ameritrade account, and then you don't have to put any money in. There's no money involved, and you can just use this for free, basically. All you have to do is make an account with them. There's no account minimum with TD Ameritrade. So if you want to like use this and do paper trading, I suggest that to a lot of people. Not that you need trading practice. Unless you want to do futures, I would suggest some paper trading with futures or Forex before you do it, because it's a little more scary than stocks until you figure out the gist of them. There's similarities and there's stuff that's different with them. Mainly the volume and how many hours a day it's trading. Okay, I'm not going to go higher than that. The price is like, oh, yes, I am going to go higher than that. Okay, I'll zoom out and get this done faster here. Maybe. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. Stop. Yeah, you're going to get bored here, but like I said, I want to do this from scratch. And that's the size I'm going to go. Alright, now I'm just going to paste those smaller ones in. Yep, that's blue. And I don't even have to look. I know that these are going to hit big support and resistance lines. Most often you do not have to go into eighths. Every once in a while I do on futures. And Forex. Forex especially. Okay, go down. More than halfway done here, I think. Okay, just halfway done. And then, like I said, sometimes it's good to go into a smaller time frame. Right now I'm on the 5-year daily and just adjust them. Fine tune where they are, because the math gets you really spot on close, but fine tuning does help sometimes. Usually it doesn't need it, but it's good to know, because if you're basing where you want to sell, which is what I do, I don't want to like have my limit order above a support or resistance line because it might not get placed. It might not go through. All right, now we've got everything and it looks like a mess, right? But when you zoom, I mean, on a large time frame, yes, it's always going to look like a mess. Oh man, so tired. Okay, get rid of the squares. Man, all these colors actually hurt my eyes from this far out, so let's get done fast. My eyes are bleeding looking at this. Sorry I'm so punctual about this. Alright, so, and nice thing about Thinkorswim, if this bothers you, you can just go to Heidel Drawings and all of it exists, right? And you can get a nice view, but they do exist, so we're going to show them. So next, I'm going to insert my channels and my trend lines. So I'm once again just going to hide these so I can get a clear view of everything. And then I'm going to put in diagonal lines. So trend line, let's put her in. There is not, that's not one. Well, it is, but that's not going to affect the price any day soon. That's a big one there. I'm going to extend it to the right. And because it's uptrending and it's a major time frame, I'm going to make it cyan. And this chart's a little annoying. There's another trend line here. It is not a channel because it broke out of the channel. So there's not really one existing. This trend line does exist though. Again, it's a major one, so I'm going to extend it to the right, make it cyan. I mean, this is technical analysis 101. Anyone can do this if they work on it for a bit. This is not crazy stuff that gives you good profitability. It's just one of the steps that is necessary. All right, so I'm going to zoom in a bit closer here. I'm going to go to the 2-hour time frame, and you can see my previous trend lines. This might affect the price somewhat. I do see a channel. Nope, that's not a channel. That's a descending triangle right there. I believe this is a decent, yep. I like triangles. They don't work out as often as I like them would. I swear sometimes ascending triangles do the opposite of what they're supposed to do more than they do what they should do. This one's a little bit of a booger. I'm not seeing channels too well, so you gotta zoom in even closer here. These are I call these micro channels. Anything under the 1-hour time frame is a micro channel. I do not trade micro channels usually. There's one. Gonna leave that green since it's uptrending, and we can see one here. Right? Yeah, I believe. and I'm going to make that red since it's a downtrending micro channel. Okay, and since this is a spiking channel, bear spiking channel, we can always expect the price to come back to the point of return, which is right here. So we're going to expect the price to come back to the bottom of the channel eventually, or the triangle. This is the triangle. We're going to expect the price to come back, you know, that wasn't level, to right here, basically. Because, well, and this also makes sense on a larger time frame, because I'm going to make this green. So that's the target. I'll make it larger. So this makes sense because when price changes, or when price goes through something like a channel or a triangle, it always wants to come back to retest. It doesn't happen all the time, but more often than not, it wants to come back, touch the bottom of whatever it just went through or the top, and then go do something else. So in this case, we have two reasons why we should think it should go back up to here. It's a bear spiking channel, which means the price is going to want to go up to the pivot of the channel, and it is also going to want to retest this massive triangle it broke out of, which also happens to be right here. So that's two good reasons why it should come back up. Now I'm not going to say it's going to, I'm not saying it's going to do it within a week or 2 weeks. It might, but it'll definitely happen within a month. That I can be sure of. Maybe I can't be, actually. It'll happen. Yeah, it'll happen before it gets to here, because then that trend line will force it down more. Okay, so on to the next step. So next, I determine which time frame has the most accurate Tenkin line. Just so you know, the Tenkin line is the blue one here. To figure out which one's the most accurate, though, I have my own style here. I'm going to switch over to Heikin-Ashi candles, I believe. Heikin-Ashis, they take the average of the previous candle, and then basically it just gives you a cleaner chart. Okay, that's basically what Heikin-Ashi does. See how it's a lot cleaner than regular candles? Like, you can see nice trends, and it allows me to see the Tenkin hug the price tighter, which is what I want here. I'm looking for whichever, the Tenkin's a cyan line now, I'm looking for whichever time frame has the Tenkin hugging the price the closest and mimicking the price the closest. So 4 hours, not too good. The 2 hour is looking better, but it's still not good enough for me. And I usually don't like to go under 1 hour. The 1 hour is pretty dang good. I'm going to just check the 4 hour one more time. Yeah, that's not too, I mean, you can do that. All right, let me see my drawings again. Show the drawings. I'm gonna stick with the 1 hour. Okay, so I've determined what the 1 hour is. Okay, that's it for my prerequisites. Except I'd also, right now, I would check the news to see if there's any news coming out. If there's news coming out, I won't trade because I don't know what the news is going to be. It's technically gambling, trading news, because you never know what the news is going to be. It's always a 50-50 with news. I mean, the reaction. Okay, you never know what the reaction to the news is going to be. That's the reaction's 50-50. So checking conditions. So next I would do is I would check all the time frames above the 20-minute with standard candles to see, with the drawings hidden, to see if this is a good place to go long. So let's say I'm buying this. I want to buy this. So I'm going to hide all my drawings. I'm going to zoom out on the 1 hour here. Maybe not. Let's try the 4 hour because this is so low. Why would I want to buy here? Why would I want to buy here is what I'm looking for. Is there any support or resistance that I can see without the channel to tell me to buy here? And the answer is no. Maybe I would buy here, but oh, no, wait, let's show the drawings. If I show the drawings, okay, this is a bull spiking channel, which means the price would want to return to here sometime. Oh, excuse me, here sometime, and the price did return to there. So that would be one reason why I'd want to buy. Okay, so there is a somewhat good reason to buy here. I wouldn't count that as a great reason to buy, so that would already turn me off to buying this, but you know, let's go on just for the sake of the strategy. next I would establish what trading range it's in and where the tops and bottoms of those are. So right now it's at the bottom of a trading range, and that would actually give me reason to short sell unless I wanted to wait for it to get up to here. So I definitely would not go long here. I would go short here. It's in an uptrending channel, so I don't want to short down here, obviously, right here, because what would probably happen is the price would come back down to here, hit this eighth. You can't imagine a support and resistance line right here, like an eighth, like an eighth. You know what I'm saying. It would probably come down to here and then go up higher. So shorting here is probably not a good idea. It might just fall down, but it probably won't. So I would wait for it to get up to here, and then I would short, and then I would probably cover right about here, I would say. Or if I wanted to wait for an even better setup, I would wait for it to get to here, and then I would go long because it would want to come all the way back up to the green line at that point. Next I would see... I'm not looking to play channel rotation. Okay, so next I would just set my program, and I would go to buy, and then I would go to edit, and it won't work because I'm in on-demand mode, but you can set your program by clicking on a button that's not showing up right now because I'm in on-demand. I would set my program, and what the program would do is the next time the Tenkan line starts going, okay, so let's say the Tenkan starts coming back down. Let's say it's down here. The next time the Tenkan points up, it would buy me in. As soon as it points up, it would buy me in. And next I would set my stop loss. It would be just outside of the channel in case it broke down from the channel because I'm going long. And I would cover the trade probably up here because this is bullish. It's got a bullish bias because it wants to come back up. If we check the 5-year daily Tenkan, oh, no, let's not do that. 4-hour Tenkan. Okay, that's 4 hour is pretty sizable momentum, and it's pushing it up. So I've got the trend on my side, at least the medium-term trend. So I would probably put my stop loss here. I would buy it here, and I would cover here. And that's my strategy. That's really all there is to it. And, I'm going to leave it there because this video is approaching half a gigabyte. It's incredible it's that small. So I shall leave it up. No, wait, I wanted to show you one more thing. The site I use, it has, you may hear people call these guys scams, but they're definitely not. I've learned everything from them. They're pretty dang good. The site is Profitly. You may have heard of it, maybe not. Basically, there's about 5 guys on here. They each teach different things. They're really good. You can set up an account. You can upload all your stock trades to it, and you can see. You can upload your trades here, and then you can go to statistics and see all your stats. Unfortunately, you cannot upload futures or forex to here, so this only shows my stock, statistics, which suck because I haven't traded stocks in like hardcore for a year here. So that shows that. You can see all the trade. It's nice though. It shows you all the trades you've placed. You can write in what your mistakes and everything were. Basically, Profitly's main goal is to get you to be a more transparent trader, so you can see what other people do and why they either are succeeding or not, and people can see what you're doing wrong, if you're doing something wrong, or if you're doing something right, what you're doing right. It's kind of nice. And then the gurus, I'm not going to go into advertising here too much, but I do like basically the 2 guys. One second. Stats. Basically, the gurus are listed here. These guys are pretty dang good. Somewhere. Come on. Trades. They're here, right? You can see them here. Basically, I've listened to Timothy Sykes. He teaches penny stock trading, like how to trade violent penny stock moves, and he shows. See, this is the difference between this site and any other site is all the gurus are required to upload every single trade they make, so you can see every mistake he's made. I believe, nope. But you can like go to their account and see every trade they made. So I follow Triforce. He trades futures. So I could go to his account right now. Go to Triforce. I've subscribed to his newsletter, and he goes over. What's cool is he goes over every single future he trades, and he predicts pretty darn well what it's going to do the next day, and he uploads the video of what it's going to do the next day before the day, like a day before, you know. So he has pretty good foresight, and I can go here and I can see every trade he's placed, and he shows photographic evidence for every trade. He says it's a pain in the butt, and he uses programs too. He has better programs, like ones that if you try and copy them, he will sue you for copyright infringement. So he doesn't share them, the programs, but he gives you an idea of what they do. So I can go in and see every trade he's made. You can see all the specifics and photographic evidence of that trade. And his program is working out pretty well, as you can tell. I mean, the guy's made bank, several million doing it, and that's about it. I just want to show you the site. The guys there give you some. If you subscribe to their newsletter, I would definitely suggest Triforce's newsletter, the cheapest one. And then if you are interested, there's a DVD I would suggest getting from them. That's fantastic. It doubled my knowledge in trading just from watching the one DVD. And when I got it, it was a pretty darn good price too, but I don't know what the price is now. And that's about it. I should shut the video down here. I would be more than happy to see what your strategy is. Sorry if this went too long. What are we approaching here? Time elapsed. That's a lot of time. Yeah. Have a good day, Chief.